Wow.
It is great.
How are you guys funded?
We're funded by any kind of foundation that will provide resources, of course. And this day and age is kind of tight.
And we do have foundations that listen to this show.
Yeah.
Yes, and we appreciate all of the support that they do give us. United Ways are a very strong proponent of 211, as well as state and federal funds. We get some food stamp money, actually, from the federal government and state government. And then, of course, our local Riverside County government gives us some
So you guys advocate
funds.
the SNAP program then?
Yes, the SNAP program is in fact, one of our top calls is about food stamps.
And that, for those who don't know, the old program that used to be called the food stamp program is now called SNAP. So they've done away with the stigmatism that comes with saying food stamps, and it's now just called SNAP.
In fact, KTIE actually does ads for SNAP.
Isn't that great?
Yes, they do. I'm very proud of that.
It's a great service.
Yes.
Yeah.
And staff-wise, how big is your staff?
I make number 11. I have 10 other staff. We take all of our calls with just 6 operators, actually, that are on the phones.
So let me try to get a picture here. Your facility is somewhere in Riverside County. How big?
Well, we have a small room because we're a nonprofit.
Right.
We don't have a lot of space.
Yeah.
We provide phone services throughout the entire county. We cover 2 different area codes, the 760 and the 951 area code.
They must go through some type of process of extensive training, because I can imagine, I know I'm in this industry too, so I can imagine if every time my phone rang on the end was somebody else's problem, and it was my responsibility as the listener to try to do whatever I could to help them solve it. I mean, that's a lot of ownership about the phone call. So what kind of training do these people get to deal with those kind of crises?
Yeah. Well, each staff goes through between 80 and 90 hours of training. And part of that is learning how to navigate a phone call, how to make sure it works so that everybody finishes with feeling better about where they're at. My operators really want to make sure that our callers understand what's going on, how to get out of where they're at. They're also crisis trained, because when somebody calls, they're in crisis.
They're in crisis. Yes, they are.
That's how I learned about 211. I was in crisis when I called. So the operators know how to handle somebody who's in crisis and help them work through that.
Yeah, because a call can escalate when somebody's in crisis if you're not really trained well how to handle it. Yeah. And that's not helpful to or beneficial to anybody on either side.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Help bring them out of that.
Can you give us a little bit of an insight as to some of the organizations that you have as resources that you offer?
Sure. It's kind of extensive. Right now we have over 3,000 different programs or services in Riverside County in our resource database. Quite a bit. But it ranges from food stamps or the SNAP program, CalFresh programs, to clothing, crisis counseling, shelters. There's diaper resources, pet resources, people wanting to volunteer at different resources. So people who want to do something in the community can call 211 also. It goes both ways. People wanting to help other agencies can go through 211.
Let's spend a little time on that, because this listening audience does involve themselves in helping. So what do people do if they would like to be a part of it?
Great. Pick up the phone and dial 211.
That's a good place.
That's the best place to start. Yeah. There's a lot of volunteer connective services in Riverside County, and we'll connect you to those resources. There's agencies that call 211 to be on the database to say, hey, we need some volunteers for such and such event. Can you help us get that information out?
I like kooky facts, and so I'm going to go in a kooky direction. My listeners are used to that. What's the most unusual call that you got? I mean, because you have to imagine that in the Inland Empire, there's got to be some unusual issues that come up. Can you think of one unusual issue that came up where somebody would say, how could you possibly know how to fix that, but yet you did? Because that impresses me, when people can take an out-of-the-box situation and turn it into a perfectly wrapped gift. You know what I mean?
Don't you love being put on the spot?
I am. Well, I'm not asking them to name names. Just situational.
Sure. Actually,
okay, yay. I'm all excited.
I hope this meets your criteria. One just called the other day. A homeless shelter actually called. They had a dog that was left there by a homeless individual, and this dog needed some place to stay. They have a kennel there, but part of the requirements is that they have to find
spend it. Yeah.
a location for the dog. So this dog is up for adoption, and I believe the dog is still up for adoption. I haven't heard. This was
there's a homeless dog
just the past couple days, so.
at the homeless center.
That's right. If you want to help place this dog, call 211.
If you want to place a dog who's homeless at the homeless center, he doesn't even have a homeless owner. You need to call 211 and get this dog. What kind of dog is it? A chow mix. It's a chow chow. Did you name him? No. Can I name him?
I think he does have a name. I'm not sure.
What color is he?
I want to say he's dark, either brown or black.
Oh, you got to go get this dog. Somebody call 211 and say, I want this dog.
That's right.
I know. I'm a dog. I'm an animal saver. My house looks like pet pharmacy. I'm just, out there on the animals.
Well, how long have you been operational in San Bernardino, in Riverside County?
211's been operational as 211 since 2005. Before that, we were called Riverside, Inform Riverside, which did pretty much the same service. But the California Public Utilities Commission gave us the 211 three-digit number in 2005.
Okay. Now, it's important because we talked about this in the break. We may be talking to people who don't have a quarter to put in the phone.
That's right.
If you can find a payphone.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
Does it cost anything to call 211?
It's free. It's a toll-free number, and you can pick up any cell phone, landline, or payphone anywhere, Riverside County, dial 211 and get connected to an operator, a caring operator.
Right.
A caring operator. Yes. That's important.
It is.
Because you want to make sure somebody catches you when they answer the phone.
That's right. We take a lot of pride in our caring operators. It's important because, again, people are calling and they're in crisis.
How has the volume increased over the years?
Well, since 2008, I started in June of 2008. That year, we took 40,000 calls. This year, we've taken 80,000 calls. So we've doubled the numbers in the past 4 years.
When you say this year, that's from like July to July?
Yes, fiscal year. Right.
Wow. And they've already taken double, and it's not even July yet.
Yeah, exactly.
That's insane. But it's
high.
It's the trend. And it's funny that you say that because, even at Second Harvest Food Bank, we've doubled our capacity and doubled our distribution as far as how many people we feed since I've been there. And it just goes to show the trends are the same. You've got double the amount of people calling. We're serving double the amount of people. We're still not reaching everybody. You say you're reaching 50%, maybe know about two. We're probably reaching 50% maybe of the people that are truly in need of food. So it really is about providing accurate information, accurate or easy access to information, easy access to where this food is. And as I said, the most important thing to know before dialing 211 is to understand what it is that you think you need and understand where your location is. Know the adjacent zip codes to you. Know that the person that you're calling, as stressed as you may be and as upsetting as the situation may be, the person who is answering the phone is on your side, regardless of what the situation is.
That's right. And have a pen and paper ready.
Have a pen and paper ready.
Because you're going to get resources.
You're going to get it. You're going to get
You're going to get it.
Are you getting any calls for things that are outside of the parameters of what you can help with?
If we do, we refer to those resources. So if somebody calls looking for 411 information, like a local fast food place or something, we'll connect them to that resource. Or
that's funny. If they call 211 looking for hey, where's the closest McDonald's?
It happens. In the city of Riverside, we have 311 service, so we refer to that service, and that's city service in Riverside. So we connect them to that.
Let's give our listeners, because I know we're going to be out of time soon. Let's give our listeners your contact information. Let's give them to the website. Let's give them. Obviously, you can dial 211 obviously from any phone, but there's also a direct line number as well. So let's give out that information.
Sure. The 800 number is 800-464-1123.
One more time?
That's 800-464-1123.
And your website?
The website is www.connectriverside.org.
Okay.
So there you go.
www.connectriverside.org.
That's right.
Wonderful.
And we also do take emails. So if you email info at connectriverside.org, we'll actually give you the information that you need over the internet.
Oh, there you go. Info at connectriverside.org.
That's right.
So you can email them. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
It's this is the reason this show is so relevant, is because we can bring nonprofit organizations that serve underserved people to the studio and provide this information to the listening audience who may have gone without knowing this information for many years to come. Hopefully not, but that's why it's relevant.
There it is. Craig Rattlesberg, thank you for coming in. Thank you for sharing this information with our listening audience. It's pretty much going to wrap up this week's program. Hope you enjoyed it. Suggest you give us a listen next week. Tracy Lynn, real quick, our phone number.
Our phone number is 951-359-4757. That's 951-359-4757, and I will return your calls.
See you next week.
We all need